Five, four, three, two, one, and glow. If it is the first Saturday of the month, then we know what that time is. It is time for our State of the Melanin address. I am Courtney Omega, of course, of MX Media Group, and this is going to be a very special live. I am going to give a couple of minutes so we can all just get in here. Thank you so much. Happy New Year as well to you, Naima Saunders. However, we're going to be doing some delving into the new year and what that meant for actually our ancestors. Um, During the new year, it was time for debts to be paid for plantations. And so this was the only day of the year that actually plantations would allow for an open trade. So this means that it was almost like the draft day for a lot of our ancestors. They could go to other plantations and just pick basically who they wanted, and whatever debt they had to this particular plantation would be canceled. So we're going to be talking about that because again, our history is history, and so this is something that literally came upon a revelation of mine, from delving into this book. But we do definitely recognize what this means for us, especially with gaining this type of knowledge as we head into such a shift. But given a couple of minutes for some panel members and some MX Media Group members to get in here. But this is going to be a very, very awakening, a day of awakening. Absolutely. Hello, Angel Snuff Snuff. Angel, brother, you are welcome to come on up to the panel if you so choose. I know that you're doing a 24-hour live, and so I did not want to interrupt the flow of that, but definitely looking forward to that broadcast. And if you want to jump on this panel, jump in here, you are totally welcome to do so. Let me know, and I will shoot to email you the link. Okay, so this book is Remembering Slavery. This actually is an audio book. Let me tell you all. Let me tell you all, I accidentally purchased this book. Okay, so you see this here? This is rainwater. Okay, it was raining on the day that I actually rented this book, checked this book out from the library. So you all know, in the community of which I live. Oh, you all, I forgot to even mention, but of course you can see I am coming live from Too Raw for TV Studios. You all in printing press. It's been a minute since I've been in here, so if it has like a new look, I got a new glow. That sun is hitting different. I just love it. So if it looks all like it is, it's been a while since I've been here, but that is the glow. But I accidentally actually rented. I accidentally purchased this book actually. Thank you so much. um, because it had rainwater on it. I live in the community very close to the library, so I always me and my children to do homeschool. Some days, we go up to the library and we get our books. We have actually a library day, so I didn't think anything of it. But look, it was rainwater and this it stained the side of the book, and so they were like, you got to just purchase it. And I said that was meant to be because I have not had to purchase. I have not had to purchase no a book in years from the library. Usually you have to purchase a book if you've kept it too long, and they're just like, listen, you've already run through all of your fines. You've pretty much purchased the book because you've had to pay so many fines in it, and I've literally only had to do that one time. So the fact that in a matter of maybe like 20 years, that was the case that I had to purchase it. I said this was meant to be. So I said if I had to purchase it, I'm going to really get the use out of it. So I was really surprised because even though it was a book, of course, that's here in Georgia, I was really surprised that most of the look. And I just turned to a random page because this is not about former slaves in Georgia, but most of the plantations that they spoke of and the pictures that they're using here. And you all, if you've checked out my views from the village videos, which I just did one on Monday. Thank you all so much, everyone who has shared that video, who has viewed that video. Please support as we are in the closing stages of being able to go ahead and take ownership of the property. But anyway, as I've been delving into this book and even just randomly turning to pages, most of these plantations are plantations in Georgia. And we're going to talk about the reason why that is the case, why some of the most successfully run plantations were in Georgia. We're gonna get into it. So this is Lucindy Jordan, formerly a slave in Georgia. Um, this is her. This is our ancestor, Ashe. Ashe. So yeah, this is gonna be a special live. So hello, Rob. Happy New Year to you too. And Rob, I wanted to let you know that I did listen to the song that you sent to me. Thank you so much again. And we will be putting that into rotation definitely this quarter, this opening quarter of the new year. So I'm very much looking forward to a lot of great announcements and energy sharing that we are going to be uh, that we're going to be able to align with. This is it. I saw a quote yesterday and it just stated it perfectly. It said, I don't look to match energies. I just I put mine out and we see what aligns. And so that's exactly the mantra that I'm going into this 2022 year of breakthrough with that type of understanding and appreciation that I'm just whoever aligns with my energy is what I'm doing. I'm not trying to match nobody's vibe this year, because this is not about comparison. This is about elevation. And if it is not something that if it's not something that I aspire to, and that I'm inspired to aspire to, that is going to be growth and is going to be an improvement, then what are we doing it for, right? So absolutely. He says, Happy New Year. So OC, so that's like wasn't there a show called OC? Was there a show? Am I mistaken? Um Y'all, I'm just feeling so amazing. I don't know where everybody is at. Please drop where everyone is at, as I uh, highlight a couple of comments. But the sun is amazing right here in Atlanta. Like, amazing. Like, it is. I don't know. It definitely feels like just an incredible, like, new, just a dawn of an incredibly new day. I know that we're gonna get into it. Also there have been up and down my timeline, and surprisingly from people that I just didn't even think that were as interested in the topic per se, but definitely we're gonna send out our condolences to. I don't want to say condolences, like you know what. Also, to you all, if you're sure of people living great lives, then we don't mourn the fact that when people go on. I know that that's a very uh controversial thing when you're talking about someone losing someone, and when we're talking about Betty White and what she has meant for interestingly enough, and I have done some research there as well, because I just like some interesting people were very much talking about being sad that she's gone. And I looked at some things that she has done with media in regards to equality, pushing for African Americans, um, as well as African American, not just in media, but awareness for certain contributions to contract writing legalities that Betty White was behind or was supportive of. But when I'm I'm gonna go with what our brother B123 says. um, did Betty White have a foundation where she was pushing for the eradication or the squashing of this oppressive system, or was she just supportive of efforts to do so? Like it's a difference. And but like I said, I definitely can appreciate the life that she has led. I have seen personally endeavors that she was supportive of that were very very strong and got her not just her looked at in a certain way, but got her show canceled. She had a brief show. She had a show. I think it ran for almost 2 years or so, and uh, she was um, ridiculed about reprimanded they tried to reprimand her for giving certain African American performers too much screen time, and she was unapologetic about doing so. And she did make some like I said, she gave some support to some black journalist organizations, so not just people that were in the entertainment field, but uh, people that were looking for justice in all different factors. So I am aware, but was she a big freedom fighter for African Americans? I haven't done enough research yet, but I'm gonna say no. Um, Absolutely. Okay, let's see who we are. Hello, Nella. Hello, hello. All right. So yeah, so we're getting in here. We're getting in here and we're gonna be started out. We're gonna be starting off with again, welcome to the very first State of the Melanated address. And this is going to be a doozy because like I said, this is going to set our tone for what is coming up this year. And so this is going to be a very big doozy. So this is why it is so important and imperative that we did it. Also coming from, live from Too Raw for TV, printing press and studio. And this also speaks to the fact that my mom used to have a great saying. She used to always say, "How you start your year is how you'll end it," and it holds true. Started last year, coming live from the Too Raw for TV printing press and studio, and starting up this year with it as well. We had a great break fast yesterday. Well, this morning. It's not even yesterday. Wow, we're still the first day of the year. Where Brother Palmetto broke my gosh, a month long fast, and we had a great time with some really really scrumptious, very fresh dishes and very colored dishes. So we're coming off of a high, absolutely anyway. But like I said, this sun is absolutely magnificent. Everyone, just put in the chat where you're spending this first day of this new age. Put in the chat where you are, and highlight some. I'm going to highlight some 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 comments here. I'm going to put them up in the chat so we can get started on our panel discussion. While you guys are coming on in, thank you so much. I mean, truly, truly appreciate it to know that you could be spending any day of you could be spending this time on this day with anyone, and you all are in here this morning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's early. And it's early. But y'all, what y'all did last night? Because like I said, we had a wonderful soiree. Kicked off at 12 o'clock. Had some fireworks. Had a great meal to break fast and to introduce this day, last day of Kwanzaa. Habari Gani, y'all. It is Imani. It is the day of faith, and it is the first day of the new age, and it feels amazing. I'm in a tank top today. Y'all, to be in a tank top in January. Okay, like of course I'm used to that anyway, because not so long ago I was in Miami, but uh, I'm always surprised, when we have these, especially coming from Philly, y'all, for so long, because as you all know, that was a little about a decade of my life, and it's cold every day until it's not. So I feel very much confident that you know this sun is continuing to grow. I know some of y'all would be like, honey, that ain't the sun. That's climate change situations happening. But this sun is finding us, and I love it. Okay, so Naima says you're in Chester, VA. All right, and we have to get off some packages. Florida has been trying some packages to her grandparents and her my ex-husband. She's been trying to get those things off for about a week now. So, and they're in Virginia. So we'll see if we'll get them off today. Yes, it is unseasonably warm. So I'm wondering. Thank you. So where are you, Rob? Where are you? You breaking necks on your community page. I'm breaking necks. Oh my gosh. I hope that's a good thing. I hope that's a good thing. Um, and thank you all for who have been sharing out my posts on the community page. I appreciate it. I really do. Just that support. Hey, want to give a big shout out to Harry Triple O. Please make sure you subscribe to his channel if you guys are not. He has shared my post in my community page, and I have shared a couple of his. So if you are not subscribed to his page, please check it out. I love his page. It pays homage every day to our ancestors, and I mean just all types, from inventors to actors to actresses to directors to black-run organizations, fraternities, sororities. He definitely covers the full gamut of the culture, and we're planning something special this year as well. And so please stay tuned, but make sure you subscribe to this channel as well as Mr. Y'all already know it's Team Rob. Uh, he always said it's so funny because I remember when everything would be happening with R. Kelly, he'd be like, Rob, he has a signature voice. So I'm not gonna try to imitate it, but he would always say like, that people say Team Rob, he would have to specify that he's talking about this Team Rob 1 2 3. This is not a B 1 2 3. This is not Team Rob for Robert Kelly type situation, but definitely he does share the name. So and has a distinctive voice also. So, what was the page name again? It's Harry Triple O. But he's also, and I'll put it in, and I'll put it in the chat also. And if anybody else, any other mods, if you have the link for Harry's channel, you can go ahead and put that in the post that as well. Thank you so much. Said he shared my stuff. Thank you so much. Y'all look, it literally pulled up this year, this day of this year. I'm looking on my phone now because I'm about to post. Yes, looking back a year ago. Oh my gosh. So y'all know I hosted I hosted Kwanzaa at my at the last day of Kwanzaa at my townhome last year, but y'all know since I'm preparing to leave soon, it was not I didn't have I've been packing up more than I have been laying things out in preparation for the move. So this it was fitting, but we started here last year, and then I had um um we had the New Year's here, but I started the first day of Kwanzaa at my townhome last year, and so it just like I said, we kind of flipped it around just a little bit. So about a week in it, about a week time. But this has definitely been a homecoming, with being back in the studio on this day as well. Let's see. Hey, Africa, welcome, welcome. You're in Alabama. Okay, Rob, we have to talk. We have to talk because a few people that I associate with, colleagues wise, they are doing a major project in Alabama and they need a lot of support. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. Oh, perfect, perfect. We got Brother Bakari joining us. So, oh, I'm so excited because this brother of mine, he let me tell y'all, Brother Bakari came to my babies and me in a major way. And it's I really appreciate it when people about what they say about, and that may seem so like, it may seem small to y'all, but that means something very big, So, Brother Bakari, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can
Oh
you
yeah. Okay, you sound
can you?
because I can't see you. I can't.
Oh yeah, cause
Okay, I'm
I'm
up right
out.
now.
No, I'm out and about. You wouldn't be able to see
Okay,
me
you're
no way.
out.
Hopefully I won't lose service. But I just thought about it.
Oh,
Oh
I
shit,
hope
I got
not
this. So let me
either.
go. So let me go on your So
Thank
I had to come on your
you.
so I had to come on your panel because you had asked me to come on. What's going on? How you doing? Peace to everybody in the chat, by the way.
Yes, we're up. Thank you so much. Well, this is our literally the first state of the melanin address for the year because it is the first state. It's the first Saturday. It's the first Saturday and it's the first Saturday of the year. So this is huge. So just want to again thank you for being a part of this group, a part of this journey. And welcome, welcome, welcome to the first day of the new age, as Brother Palmetto would say. How are you feeling this morning? This weather is amazing today, is it not here in Atlanta? It's amazing.
Yep. Happy New Year, by the way, to everybody.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we have a few here. We got some Alabamas in here, Alabamas. We have some Virginians in here. So we got a few people in here. So this is like I said, this is the first State of the Melanated address of the year. And we're going to be talking about the projects that we have going on as MX Media Group members and things to be involved with as we move forward. Are there any projects or any announcement that you want to share with the chat as well as with the colored only community and Glow Nation? Could you hear me? I may have lost you.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Can
I
you hear
can hear
me?
you now. Uh-huh. I can hear you now. So I said yes.
Oh
Are there
yeah.
any announcements that you wanted
I
to
say,
make?
well, I just want to Team Black. We growing. We have groups now. People offering jobs at home, jobs as part of Team Black. We got a brother named Big Hugo who's working on his website. What we trying to do is Zone103.com podcast. But he's working on his thing right now with StreamYard. So if everything worked right in the next month or so, we wouldn't have to be on YouTube. We could be on a black owned thing where we could be doing streaming with StreamYard. So yeah, that's what we are. That's what we're
Okay.
doing. Like I said, we got a lady with us. Uh, start a temp service, online temp service, and she's helping people get jobs. Uh, helping our people get jobs at least 20 hours
Okay.
a week. You know, company, Lowe's, contracts with cruise ship lines. So they're real jobs.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that okay. So, Brother Bakari,
Yep.
because you're going in and out a little bit, but how do people contact you? What do you put in the chat so people can make sure that they're linking up to get these opportunities with Team Black?
Okay. Put our email You want to be part of the group email. And by the way, we do have a they call it a birthday challenge with our group email. Everybody that's a part,
Okay.
everybody that's a part, when your birthday come, we do $5. Everybody try to do $5 to the person that's in Team Black that's a part of it. So we all come together and do $5 for
Oh,
their birthday. So but the email is
that's
the B1
beautiful.
list at Gmail. The B1 list at gmail.com. The B1 list at gmail.com. That's our
All right,
group
I'm putting
email.
it in the chat right now, everybody. The B1 list at gmail.com. I'm putting it in the chat. And again, the channel that I am letting. Wait, why are we um timing out anybody? We don't time out people here. Um oh, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna trust your judgment, KW Don. Okay. All right, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna trust your judgment. Okay, so I just put it up, guys. It is the B1 list at gmail.com, and I am highlighting it as well. So let me also let you know the name of the channel again. My email is Harry Triple O. Harry Triple O. And if you look on my community tab, I shared some of his. I shared a particular post of his the other day. He did a Black liberation address about unity. It was really good. So I shared it on my community tab, and please definitely make sure you watch it and support it and share it out as well. And I tell people all the time, even if you do not have um, even if you do not have the opportunity to share, on your platform or on your channel or on your page necessarily, you can still share it out through other emails, through other means of social media. So you just don't have to worry about sharing it only on YouTube. Let's just say that. Okay, so Brother Bakari must have gotten to a little wonky area, but he should be coming back when he is available. And Brother General Julian should be into the stream. All right, let's welcome Brother Julian. General, how are you?
Oh, oh, great, Queen. Peace to everybody.
Peace, peace, brother. Peace, peace. Habari Ghani, and happy new age.
Yes, yes.
We are
Imani.
That's exactly right. We are on the day of faith. The day of faith. So excited. So excited. So let's definitely commence to getting this state of the melanated address kicked off. Um General, introduce yourself please to the colored only community and the Globe Nation that you're in front of right now. We have a few people in the chat, and of course, these playbacks or these playblacks are always very well received. This is your first state of the melanated address, and your first one as a member. So welcome and welcome again to MX Media Group. And go ahead and introduce yourself to the chat as well as to the colored only cafe community.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Julian Smith Jr. and I'm from Decatur, Georgia. Music and education are my contributions. I'm a trumpet player and I'm also a history teacher. I teach middle school history at McNair Middle School. And um my connection with Courtney is we are working with the Plantation for Reparation movement, and today being January 1st, in the commemoration of 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation. I'm just glad that we are having a time to organize and a time to be able to see how we can maximize our potential to be able to heal the legacies of slavery and maximize our melanated potential in America, in Atlanta, and the continent, and all throughout the African diaspora. Because now is our time to harp to reap, harvest the sacrifices that was sown through American slavery. And I'm glad to be a part of those who are ready to work.
And we are so grateful to have you a part of it as well, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, okay, so Miguel Bettina is the same person as Patrick Tate. Thank you so much, KW Don. Please continue to mods continue to time these people out to time this person out because I don't know what information he's posting here or their person posting here, but we're not about that foolishness. We're about really having some quality discussions, elevating the conversation, and shifting the energy here. So we that nothing is in opposition to that. Okay, so let's go over briefly what are some accomplishments from the year that we want to reflect upon, that we want to build upon. Um Brother Bakari, are you still with us? Can you weigh in on this?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Can you
So
hear me?
well, I know you. We can hear you now. With getting Team Black, that was huge, and I'm very excited to with your hauling services. I know you've been talking about the trucking, getting some trucks for a minute, so I'm very excited to see. I was very excited personally to see that. But what an accomplished year that you were going to be building up,
Well,
that you
Team
wanted
Black,
to share.
okay, we have Metric Global Logistics. Uh, that's a group venture. We're doing freight dispatching. And under that umbrella, we also have ABL. Well, we're doing freight broker with Metric Global Logistics. And the goal is to do freight forwarding, which means we would have ships and bringing containers from across the water. Uh, under that, we have
Wow.
ABL. Under that, we have ADL, which is the dispatching, right? But it's for all of us. And if you come in, if you want to be a part of that, I can hit my homie up, and he'll let you come in. You have to go through the you have to go through the freight broking, the dispatching classes. You go to classes, we sign contracts, we are partners, and go to train set up something that we benefit from for the rest of our lives, even if it's not something go wrong, something happened to you. You know, money still come in. Your kids, we trying to say, with sitting in
It's a little it's choppy. It's choppy. But your the email address is still up there, so it we'll definitely make sure that that stays up so people can make some contact. Um Brother Palmetto is in the studio. Brother Palmetto, peace. What is an accomplishment from the year that you want to build upon? No, you can't be seen from where you are. You can only be, yeah. You gonna have to maneuver because you got it all blocked in. You gonna have to maneuver. And I can barely let me. Yes, but this is you know what you all these are the type of conversations to me that I love for us to have because um you know of course we're not going to have any type of quality elevation mhm, without these discussions, right? But this is such a good time to be able to reflect and be able to build upon what is significant, and instead of us getting distracted by these tricks and gimmicks, because that's literally what they are. So these are the conversations that we want to build more so upon. But yes, Brother Palmetto, share what's something that from the year that accomplishment is something you want to build upon this year.
Well, we had several accomplishments. We've had several accomplishments, and I'm so glad 2021 was such a great year full of accomplishments. But I say one of the most notable ones was Malcolm X Day.
Claim Malcolm X
Claim
Day.
Malcolm X Day,
Yes,
hashtag CMXD.
yes,
It brought people from all over the country to unify in the spirit of Malcolm X and to keep this tradition growing
yes.
of celebrating Malcolm X as an international holiday for one of our most profound and radical revolutionary leaders. So I'll say that Malcolm X Day of last year was definitely one of the more notable successes of 2021, and it definitely is going to be a very notable success this year as well, 2022.
It's going to be amazing. We've gotten some real, and we're still working on some other uh, groups, and that'll of course be upcoming. But literally today, by the end of today, you will be able to get free tickets. So take advantage of it now. But you'll be able to get free tickets for a limited amount of time for Claim Malcolm X Day this year. So especially because it holds true. Atlanta, you of all people, if you're in Atlanta, cop these free tickets because it holds true that you don't want to come to the day of, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm here, so I'm going to go ahead and go. And because again, we're putting it's going to be in an area that is, it has to be contained. So we're not going to be able to just say, okay, well, it's just open door, come one, come all. This is why the tickets are necessary because it's not in an open field or what have you. It is going to be in a venue that is contained, and so the tickets need to be qualified beforehand. And you're not going to want to the day of when you had access for months to free tickets. Now you're gonna be, you're like, oh, I didn't know we had to pay. So, and it's again, we're not beating anybody over the head. It's a nominal amount, but it still is something that you want to take advantage of for free while you can. And the link is up for the petition to get Claim Malcolm X Day an internationally recognized day. So if you have not signed this petition, please make sure you do so. It is the very least we can do to make sure that a man that is revered, respected, and is remembered in such high regards get this recognition that no one has ever had the honor of an internationally recognized day. So the perfect, Rob. Make sure you do. Make sure you do because Brother Bakari has been. Let me tell you, since I met Brother Bakari a little over a year ago, he has been building this initiative, and so to actually see this take off and off the ground, it's a pretty big deal, and I am very proud uh, to see it come to fruition. So make sure you do. So personally, accomplishment that, and it still, of course, is in the works, but the Plantations for Reparations movement has been something that's been developing, but it all started with the what? Fuck that rent movement. That's what it started with because, and brother Palmetto, you were actually the one that put me onto game and realizing the significance of the fact that there was no rent before emancipation. Emancipation, like there was no rent, there was no evictions. Who were they kicking out? Who were they kicking out? They was kicking out free help. No, they were evicting the people that supposedly were, um this is what paid for labor. It was the housing. So what came to light in regards to the process of this movement, and it's still moving, y'all. But what came to light is that rent, there's something that you said that was so profound, that we're the only people that have to pay to live. We're the only people that have to pay to live here. Other people are able, they get paid. They're welcoming in other other demographics right now to the tune of 450,000. Giving them stipends to come over here and live. But we're the only people that actually had to, the agenda has been so egregious. And not only has it been so egregious to have us pay for living here, but to actually, I get into more arguments with brothers and sisters about not paying rent than I do anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Well,
so
we're
sick and
conditioned.
conditioned.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're conditioned to pay for everything. We're sick-minded because we don't even know what freedom is. 99% of black people have not ever been free.
Of course.
They have never been free. They have never lived any sort of freedom ever in their life. So
Speak on it.
yeah, they. So
And we'll
when you
argue with
mention,
you. Oh,
yeah,
well, you gotta pay rent. No, I
yeah,
don't.
they want to be
Why?
slave, and that's what I'm
Why?
saying. Like people say, this stuff about, oh,
You're crazy.
if I live back in the days of slavery. Okay, first of all, you're still living in the days of slavery. Second of all,
Facts.
these people will fight to be enslaved. Black people will pay to be enslaved. So that's what it is.
That is, and you know what? Let me tell you why that's so scary. Because I was sharing with Brother Palmetto yesterday, like, and let me also be very clear in what I'm about to say here, y'all. Because I think sometimes when especially if you're in, I don't like to say the conscious community or the woke community, but whatever you call it, that community, you get to a certain point sometimes where it seems like you can't be told nothing or taught nothing. It's like, but I'm the type of person, whereas I know that I learn something every day. I know that I'm still growing. I know that I'm still glowing, and I know that I'm still, I'm still on this journey, right? So when I saw Anthem the other day, a new side of me kind of was awakened that I hadn't really tapped into. I think I have thought of my efforts and initiatives as being like, um, I thought of them as being revolutionary, or I thought of them as being even controversial, but I had never thought of them as being like, um, how can I say, like, I had never thought of them as being offensive. I've never thought of them being uh, like, really uh, uh, threatening.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to realize that as African American people, and especially ones that are committed to revolutionizing and um, freedom and justice, that is a threat to the
Mm-hmm.
very fabric of this country.
Mm-hmm.
Your freedom, justice for you, wealth for you, awareness for you is a threat. And I had never really thought of my initiatives as being threatening before.
Okay.
I hadn't. And if you have all has let me put that out to the chat. Has everyone seen, or has anyone seen Antebellum here? Antebellum was a movie with Janelle Monáe. It was released a year ago, and y'all, let me tell y'all, Jenna Malone was in it, and I have recognized Jenna Malone in from other movies. I can't remember what she was in from now. I mean, from then, but let me tell you, I would never look at this woman again. I don't care what I've seen her in. I don't ever look at, and it's the same thing, y'all. And I love me. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Leonardo DiCaprio, but since Django Unchained, I don't check for Leonardo no more. I'm telling you, it it goes to a certain place when people are able to portray these roles. It just, you're just like, oh, okay. Because me as me, and I have a background in acting. There are just certain things I would never act.
Yeah.
There's certain roles I would never take.
Yeah.
Not because of the fact that, but it's just like I'm just not interested in taking on that type of energy or that type of persona. I don't care how, lucrative it could be or how groundbreaking it could be. Like that role Monique did for would never I would never have taken a role like that. So when these actors and actresses take on these certain roles,
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Well, you can
nah,
tell that
it's too
was
good.
in
It's too
Leonardo
good.
DiCaprio.
You said that was in him.
That
That
was
was in him.
him.
Be
Yeah.
quiet. You just saying that, Pamela. Pamela don't like Leonardo. Pamela
That
trying to talk.
slave master.
Candy.
You know, that
Candy.
he fell
Yes.
right into that role so easily.
And well, he said it was hard. I mean, he said it was hard, but for the whole time that he was on set, Jamie Foxx said he never during the whole making of that movie he never talked to them. He would do his lines. He would go back to his trailer, and he has talked about it. Leonardo has talked about it to interviews and whatnot, and he talked about how that was a very difficult what have you. But like, okay, this follow me here though. After the movie wrapped, it wasn't like he now made an effort to say, "Oh, Jamie Foxx, Kerry Washington, let's get together and let's see how." He was like, it was like it still had to continue.
He thought, oh, that slave master thing wasn't that bad.
No, I don't know if he thought that, but I think he didn't. It was not like okay, everything is over now. Let me introduce myself.
Well,
Da, 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 da.
let's
That
be
wasn't the
honest,
effort.
100% honest. Too. A lot of these pink people that are in Hollywood have families that were involved in the slave
Slavery,
trade.
yeah, and
So,
still are. And Hollywood is, if it's nothing else, it is a human trafficking industry.
oh,
It just
absolutely.
is. It has to be.
The
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell trial proved that.
Yeah.
I mean, it just showed that. It just showed how all the conspiracy theorists were right. Yes, there is an elite group of pedophiles that are buying children all across the world.
All across the world.
And, Donald Trump and Bill Clinton are part of them. Yes, so, I mean, Hollywood is just another hub of that. It's just another hub of human trafficking, sex trafficking, prostitution, slavery, um, straight up slavery. So it's just another hub of that. America still lives off slave labor.
Still, and this was my um with the fuck that rent movement. So but we make up 70% of the rental industry. Without us renting, there is no rent. There's no and also there's no justification for rent without us renting. So the we also and I can just again confirm this from my background in politics and in policy making that they use statistics from black people to justify the need for building affordable housing. And once those affordable housing uh, developments are put into place, we are not, we're worked right out of that. You know why most of us are worked right out of that is because the affordable housing is, they put it at a certain number that is out of a reach for our affordability. So even though they'll take the numbers to justify the need for these developments to be created, the housing is so out of that range. We again go back to working poor, and go back to okay, this is why we'll create more vouchers or more whatever, Section 8 opportunities. We'll open that list back up, but the affordable housing that they have built is now not available for us. Like that's just it, and I mean that is the majority. Yes, we're going to have different areas, different communities, that are able to get a few of us in, maybe even you know, 100, 1,000, depending on the community. And those numbers seem big, but they're really small when you look at the grand scheme of things. Especially, like I said, the fact that 70% of us still rent, the fact that it is that we are not likely to get home ownership loans. That we are very much less likely to ever get to a position of ownership in our lifetime. So you're talking about this is something that affects.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay. Oh, Rashida. Yes, yes,
Peace,
yes.
Rashida, what's going on with
Peace,
you?
peace, peace. Um, and please join us again for Claim Malcolm X Day. We were so pleased to see you in the building last year. Please join us again for Claim Malcolm X Day this year. It's going to be even bigger, better, and we would love to align with you and having a very much interactive panel discussion in regards to the people that will be a part of the event this year. So we are looking for a content creator um, uh, event within this event. So please, if you are able to join us this year, let us know as soon as possible so we can start to get those conversations going. But yes, this housing issue is not. This is this is the frontier, y'all. I'm not dismissing or minimalizing the efforts for anyone else um, in regards to the uh, uh, in regards to human rights. I'm not dismissing or disregarding anybody else's efforts in regards to making sure that justice is served for our brothers that and sisters that have faced police brutality, that have faced down, that have been murdered by this structure that promotes the slaughter of our people. I'm not debunking any of that. But what I am saying is that when we look at the numbers, just sheer numbers, that 70% of us are renting, we are 4 times as likely to be homeless. We are 3 times, I'm sorry, 4 times as likely to be evicted, 3 times as likely to be homeless. That the housing crisis is our that's our of this generation. That's our civil rights move. It just is. It just is. We're talking about families that are living in cars. We're talking about families that are living in tents. Families. I'm talking about, in some cases, not just mom, dad, and children. I'm talking about mom, grandma, and children. I'm talking about mom, dad. Not so long ago, and when we have the saying in our community that we spend money that we don't have, but not so long ago, literally, um, you know, I took what money technically I didn't have. I had just had to make a pretty big purchase and had very little left to before my next web payment paid out. But it was a father who was homeless with he had 4 children, 3 teens and a little daughter. And he said he didn't want to go to a shelter because the shelters was they split up because he had sons and then he had a young daughter. And in the shelters they split you up, they split the genders up, most of the shelters. And so he was like he didn't want to go to a shelter. So literally, I mean, I gave my last just to help him help him get into a situation, another room, and a connection, get to a situation, and personally went and bought food, like I mean. That's what I said. I mean, I cook food, but to have to, I went and bought him food with because I know I know that is a very real threat. It's a very real threat because in those in those facilities, your family is divided. And so when I say housing is our that's our civil rights movement of this generation, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that like hypothetically. I'm not saying that with romanticizing or looking to, make a mountain out of a molehill. I'm saying that because I've seen the crux of it and I saw it years ago as an elected official and it has not improved and it's not supposed to improve. And so when I'm on these sites, right? And y'all, because I just don't, it's not like I just watch myself and just watch people that I'm affiliated with. I look at other sites and I see, them talking about, oh, make sure your rent's paid and pay your rent. You would never be able to pay enough rent to be to be a person of or to be you would never be able to pay enough rent for to make it make sense or to be a part of a structure or a system that is going to be for your favor in it. Why would you continue to encourage people to pay? It's like why would you encourage people to pay into their own demise? Because that's really what you're doing. You're paying to be a part and complicit to a system that is meant to keep you impoverished, that is meant not to give you any power. Anytime I'm on a content creator, and y'all can call me whatever, but anytime I'm on somebody's page and that's what they're preaching to their people, I make sure I unfollow. I unfollow fast. Like why would why would you encourage people to do that? Like you would never be able to, just like to say you would not, most of us, I'm not trying to say, I'm not going to say that exceptions eliminate standards, don't. But that's like thinking that you're going 9 to 5 your way to being a millionaire. You're not.
Can I add something right now?
Go
Can I
ahead.
add something? And shout out to Brother Barry. Can you guys hear us clearly?
Oh, she
Because he
said
said that
we're breaking up
he said
bad.
that we're breaking up bad. So I want to know if anybody else is having that issue.
Yeah.
Um, can you guys hear me? Am I coming in clearly? Is Courtney coming in clearly? So
Yes.
I just want to say it like this. I also say this, that there's a phrase in our community. Yeah, you pay the cost to be the boss. It doesn't matter how much rent you pay, you're not gonna be the boss. It doesn't matter, and people they 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 are proud of the money they pay. Say, oh, I paid 1,500 for these shoes. I paid this for that, and I paid this for that. And why are we proud of paying high prices to pink people? Why are we proud of paying high prices to pink people? That's why I say, and this is gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way. But in the conscious community, we have a thing where we all call each other, kings and queens, and address people as kings and queens, and that's great. That's a great thing to build self-esteem. However, we have to recognize the fact that a lot of people came here as slaves, and they were generational slaves. They were slaves. Their grandfathers before them were slaves. The fathers before them were slaves, and they just came here as slaves.
Slaves,
They came
right?
here as
And
slaves.
that's
Still
think that
slaves.
way. That's
They're
just don't
still
think that
slaves.
way.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
all that, when you hear somebody talking about they are, they're bragging about paying pink people this and that, that person is still a slave. You know what I'm saying? If you were really rich, if you were really have money like that, you wouldn't even be going to the Louis Vuitton store. Louis Vuitton would be right there at your door. They'll be right there. You wouldn't be going to Gucci or any of these places. You wouldn't even be, if you're going into a store right now, you're not rich, black people. You're not rich, because all of that stuff will be delivered to you.
Come
You know
on.
what I'm saying? For free. Pink people that have wealth and influence don't even use money.
They don't
They
use
don't even
money.
use
Yeah.
this stuff is given to them. So, so strive to be on that status where you're paying less for more. Strive to be paying less for more. That includes housing. You shouldn't be paying anything for housing. The reason why there's an inflation problem, let's talk about the inflation problem, because America has always been ran off slaves. America has always been ran off
It has
slavery.
to. The system has to. It has to. It has to. It has to capitalize on free labor because how else are you going to get ahead if you have to pay everybody?
So people talk about a livable wage,
Come
right? And
on.
why they're not getting paid a livable wage. And it's so easy because these companies and stuff like that are paying you the equivalent of nothing. And they're on their bottom line, they're paying you so that it will add up to zero. So inflation is just for slave owners to still keep on paying their slaves nothing. Because when their bottom line hits that little $7 an hour or the $8 an hour they're paying you adds up to zero. It adds up to zero. So that's what really inflation is about. They're trying now black people have sort of shook up. They got a little NFTs and cryptocurrency, and they're making some moves and making some money now. And so now, they can't judge it as much. They don't they can't break it down like that. But however, inflation is about keeping slavery going. Chattel slavery going, be keeping chattel slavery going, and paying black people $0. So the inflation is about making having these big companies make enough wealth so they're not paying you anything still.
Period. Such great comments for coming in as you spoke, Brother Palmetto. And as Brother Palmetto said, if everyone can still hear us okay, please make sure you put a one or a glower, put a glower up in the chat. Because Brother Bakari, you were breaking up a little bit when you were on the mic. And so I think it might be your connection, but just in case it is not, because this is the crutch of this literally what this my year that's what I'm dedicating it to. I I stated something at the second Raise Your Rights Renters Forum, and I basically said that I literally wanted to be the catalyst. I wanted to create a catalyst initiative that ended rent for this generation. This is my gift. This is what I want to give my children. The fact that they don't ever have to, if unless they want to. But why would you want to? But you never have to pay, like you said, anyone for a place to live. That should, if there's any demographic that shouldn't have to pay nobody for a place to live, it's us. We built these very grounds that the people or that people are inhabiting. We built these structures that people are inhabiting. Why would we have to pay to live in them? And that's what is the biggest egregious thing about it is that would you how many of y'all would be so proud to say that you're paying rent to stay in a place of which your great grandmother, great grandfather, what were raped, were beaten upon, were murdered, were split up. How many of y'all would be so proud to say that? You wouldn't, but that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. And your rent is 60% of your rent is used to evict the next. The next. And since 70% of us make the rental industry, guess who chances are you're helping to evict. That's where your rent is going. So these content creators, because there's this new wave of content creators that are just sitting around talking about, how luxury apartments are where it's at as opposed to owning a little home. You're a tool. You're an agent, and like I said, they want some channel. They talk about how paying rent and this is the way you pay rent to pay down debt and this and that. Cancel. Cancel because you're too busy trying to condition people to think that they are being able to pay their way out of a system of poverty. That is not the case. That is not the case. And
I'd
so
rather live in my car than live in a luxury apartment, honestly. Because you're paying
come
all
on.
this money to paint
I
you.
would never pay to
And
live in
yeah,
a
and
luxury
it's just
apartment
like
anything.
and people are proud of it. They're like, oh, well, I pay 2,000 or 3,000 or whatever, $10,000 a month for this. Like, why? You could be using your money so many different ways, you know. But it's all about what you want to do. When I set my mind to never paying rent, I'm never paying mortgage, I'm never paying anything again like that. When I set my mind to that and really follow through with that, the universe opens doors and opens channels for you, opens gateways for you to
Can I
do
speak on that,
certain.
please?
Oh yes,
Oh yes,
Brother Bakari,
Brother
you have a
Bakari,
little
you have a little
background.
background.
I think you have it in
I
two
think you have it in
places.
two
It's
places.
feedback.
It's feedback.
Yeah, I have you on my car. That's the only way I'll be able to talk. In all honesty, right now, because
Ah,
I can't pick up
okay.
on my
It's
other
It's
device.
echoing.
echoing.
It's echoing. I can't pick up
Mhm.
on my other device that well. Because I'm in my truck, and if I let
Okay.
my, it's gonna
Well,
be too loud.
I'm gonna put myself on
I'm gonna
mute.
put myself
Go
on
ahead
mute.
and speak.
Go ahead and
I'm gonna
speak.
put us on
I'm
mute.
gonna put us on mute.
Yeah, because it's just a couple of questions. Because like we say housing should be a human right, and we want to change the system, right? But I think the mistake that we're making, and this is me how I see it, we're trying to change their system. I'm a firm believer in using what's at the tip of your hand to create your own, right? So if we want to change stuff, because I'm strictly concerned about my people having somewhere to stay, having somewhere to go. I ain't concerned about other people, right? So for me, I try to use what at the tip of my hands. And right now, capitalism, this the system that we're in. We use it. Whatever we use have to be used as a tool of liberation. So we use it and put our money together, and we can start getting purchasing some of these apartment complexes. And so let me give you an example, right? So it won't take too long. Like I heard a guy saying they need to do a million man reparation march in DC. And I said, why? So I went back to 1995 when they did the first one. And then the second one that they did in 2015. I can even go back to 1965, right? When Martin Luther King did it. But we say we don't have money, but we give all our money to all these other businesses to go stand on some green grass in DC and say we're demanding rights. If we stop trying to change other people and change our thinking and say, you know what, instead of letting the whole world see us stand on green grass in DC, we got a committee, we have this, and we gonna use this black bank. So I use an example. It's probably about $300, plane tickets, food, somewhere to stay when you go to DC. So a million people gave $300. There go the beginning. That's three of those million people that went gave that $300 instead of giving your money to the Arab gas station, the East India hotel owner, the white folks paying and purchasing food from those restaurants. If they had given that $300 to a real organization, to real people with a committee that wanted to help black people, that's the beginning of us giving ourselves reparations. That would have been $300 million on that day instead of giving it to other people. Now you can purchase an apartment, one of these apartment complex, let's say in Atlanta, and we could do the renovating and we could do everything. And so now people can have somewhere to stay. So now some of those people that's looking for somewhere to stay and can't find a job, now you got somewhere to stay, and your job is going to be to keep these grounds clean. And we consistently do the same thing, putting into that pot so we can help our people and we can help businesses grow. We need to create industry. There's things that we have to do, right? But when we saying we shouldn't have to pay, it's not the fact that I disagree, but it's to a point where we are trying to change people that's not going to change. In all honesty, I wouldn't change either. I brought you here so I could live off you. Why in the hell would I change? I'm going to continue to live off you because you're going to continue to allow me to live off you. So giving our money to other people when we're making stunts and doing stunts like that so people can see us and saying we're standing strong. No, it's time to change what we're doing. And the change is going to have to be us because we're not going to change people who brought you here on the bottom of a ship, enslaved, in chains, so they could get rich off you and build a great country off your free labor, right? So now that we have skills and we have this, what they're doing now. They are hiring other people to do, they're hiring the Hispanics to do the construction work and all this. And guess what? It's not cheap labor because I'm out there with them. They are making money. They just don't want to pay black people. They don't want to see us come up. So we have to stop trying to change them and change ourselves. If we change our mindset, our condition would change in 48 hours. I'm just using that as an example because I heard somebody talk about a couple of days ago and even last night that we should try a million man's reparation mark. The first reparation is going to have to come from us because we're trying to force them to do something that they're not going to do, and we're not trying to get in the position to truly force them. So in essence, we're asking them, can y'all please change the way you treat us? The change is going to come from us. And once we change how we deal with other people, first deal with ourselves, then how we deal with other people, then you force change by taking your money away from them and keeping your money within yourself. And I'll give the mic.
Brother Bakari made some excellent points. Thank you for speaking. I appreciate that, and that was some very, very good points. You know,
And I also want to say, before you get started, Brother Pummett, I also want to say that absolutely in agreement, and that's why that doesn't come out of my mouth when we're talking about. I'm not trying to figure out a way for us to be complicit in order to get in order to get them to act agreeably. The fuck that rent movement is just that. I'm not, I mean, we're done being polite about the injustices and about the absolute disregard that and this business that has been done to this demographic systematically since we were even brought here. So why would be about let's move into this, agreeably? It does have to come from us. It has to come with us standing up. I love that meme that I see with the basically it's a uh, game board on our backs, and there all these other demographics are playing, and they say if we stand up, the game is over. Fuck that rent. Stop paying rent. Stop being what? Why are you trying to be complicit in a system that is made to not only kill you but keep you impoverished while doing so? Stop being complicit. So you absolutely have my full, agreement there. Okay.
mhm.
What were you saying, Brother Carmelo?
I was just saying that, yeah, the key word is taking. I think that we had to, um, we like, okay, buying stuff and buying property. I get it, and it's necessary. But I also am of the school of train of thought of by any means necessary. So we had to get out of the it's cool to show how much you pay for something. How much stuff did you get for nothing, for the
Mm,
free? You
mm,
know what I'm saying? Off the aboriginal discount, off real reparations. You know
yes.
what I'm saying? That I mean, show me some of that, because that's to me, that's where it's at. I know right before my broadcast was canceled in 2015, we had and this is coming from somebody that I've led a lot of marches, I led a lot of rallies, and I just had to say that that was good for the time period, and it showed me a lot of different things. But at the same time, I understand that that's not the way. That's not how you um, make real changes. But we had slogan that we used to have our rallies, and we were saying this is buy black, still white, and
Ah,
so
I like that.
and
I'll put that in the chat, y'all.
my thing is this whole country is stolen from us.
Period.
We're not gonna be able to make real waves by purchasing everything that we have. Like, you're purchasing everything that you have. You're not making any real waves, and
You're not.
that's not a real
Yeah,
power move.
that's not, and that's
Buying
not
stuff is
capitalism. like when you say that, just use our fingertips, and that's capitalism. Capitalism is created, which of course, as we know, more is created as well. But it does have to, it has to feature a system of underpay or no pay in order to make the most of a profit from it. You can't make the profit if you are paying people.
Right, right. And then it's just we have to just get out of all of that that making it cool to be paying all this stuff. Oh, I just bought $1 million. I just bought this Maserati for da 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 da. That's not cool to me. That just shows that you're a slave. That's corny to me. That's
Yeah.
corny to say, oh, I paid this and I paid that, and these shoes cost 2,000. What, the shoes cost more than your whole wardrobe? Like, that's corny to me. That is so corny and it's so slave minded. You know what I'm saying? Show me what you got for the free. You know what I'm saying? Because these people took all this land for free. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
They took all of this stuff for free. You know what I'm saying? Because they just had the willpower. Show me what you have the willpower to invest, not just go into your pocketbook and buy. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't show anything except that you're more of a slave because we're not going to be able to buy our way out of freedom. Buy our way out of slavery. There is no possible way that we are, no matter how, even if we got reparations, we could take all the reparations checks that everybody got and put it on the table, and we will still not be
Well,
able to
it's
buy
still not
ourselves out
able
of.
to, yeah,
We're
they
not going to
won't.
be
And
able to
let me
buy
tell you the
ourselves out of
reason why,
slavery.
because they know it's not about the money. It ain't about the
It's
money.
not
It's
about
a
the money.
mindset. It's
It's
a
not about the
mindset.
money.
And as long as we are still here, that's all. The money is what they trick you into thinking that that's what it's about. It ain't
Trick black
about,
people with.
yeah.
Let's be
It ain't
specific.
about the money. It ain't about the money because, like you said, they're complete demographics. They don't even use current. They don't use money as currency. You know, there are complete demographics that use drugs as currency,
Mm-hmm.
literally. They use sex as currency, literally.
That,
So it's not about, okay, because it's not about the money. So I want to clarify a statement here, wisdom, and I do appreciate you for saying this, but um, no, I am telling people not to pay rent. I absolutely am telling people not to pay rent. You said Miss Omega is not telling anyone to stop paying rent. No, I am. I am. Because the reason why I'm saying that's because I wouldn't tell someone to do something that I wouldn't do. And if I have literally worked very strategically not to pay rent myself for 5 years, why would I be telling the next person, pay your rent, make sure you pay that rent? And I know that I'm not paying it. No, I say that there are organizations that are literally existing just for that reason. They exist to pay arrears. The Catholic Church pays arrears, I think, up to 4 months in most places. In most spaces, that's what they exist for. They get millions of dollars to help families pay rent, so or pay back arrears. They won't help you buy a house, but they will pay back arrears. So let's utilize those agencies, utilize those organizations. But for you or me, brother, or to say let's go out and get 3, 4 jobs so I can pay 1 month of rent,
mm-hmm.
I would never. Like I said, we what we have come from. I would never encourage nobody to pay no dang rent. To who? For what? For what? That's what I said. In any property that I purchase, that I go into a situation on, this is a no. It's a no rent zone. It's a no rent zone. Now, does that mean that you are, we don't want to keep up these facilities and these venues? Absolutely, we must. But that I'm not sitting around knocking on doors talking about, well, where's your rent this month? I'm not interested in being no landlord. I'm not. I'm not interested in being a landlord.
Mm.
You were trying to say something, brother Julian?
Yeah, well, I would
Go
suggest
ahead.
as well. Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
That
go ahead.
especially for people that's listening and people that may not be new to it, uplifting successful models that have worked before is a pathway to gain grounds for the movement, because yeah, I guess that would be one question, is that what successful models have we used in our history that have worked, and how can we build on that around housing? What is there anyone is there are there examples that we have that we can build upon?
Oh, yeah, I'm mute.
Yeah, yes, actually, thank you for asking this question because I was about to segue into this. I've been sharing. So there was a movement in San Francisco that started with the Moms on Magnolia. They organized and they basically squatted in a home that pushed for legislation that has just moved. This they did this about a year and a half ago. Right at the start, right before the start of COVID. And then they ended up getting removed from the home maybe about I think about 4 months into COVID. It's called Moms on Magnolia, but they have now moved forward legislation, and this is a legislation that it says that they must offer the homes in these communities that are being gentrified. They must allow the residents of this community the first rights to purchase these properties before they put them on open air market. And this also would prevent a lot of shell houses, and shell houses are all, especially in Atlanta. And shell houses are basically houses that corporations or banks will put up. They will have to be built to have people thinking that they're into basically creating houses or in this community, but these homes are not. They're not. They're not ever anticipated nor intended for families to be housed in them. They're just structures that are basically almost like a poster for these corporations and these banks. And then once they have a relationship with the community or maybe even with the politicians, when they have zoning change, they will move to build luxury or things that are out of the that don't look like the other neighboring homes that are in the neighborhood. But it definitely calls to the people that are going to be gentrifying the neighborhood. So there are examples all over the nation, but there aren't. What we haven't done is we haven't really created or crafted communities. And when I say communities, I'm talking about community leaders, legislators in these, pockets that are going to be readily to duplicate. Like even the Evanston, council in Chicago, they were able to take proceeds of marijuana, legalized marijuana sales, and they used that to fund their reparations and the housing reform. That's how they fund their reparations. So different places here and there are taking and moving forward legislation to do different things. But I think that when we talk about having legislation, we must also have the pockets of leaders and elected officials that are able to implement these quote unquote black prints. So we have a couple other people coming into
Well,
the
can
room.
I? I'm gonna speak on that
Oh,
as
go
well
ahead.
because I'm a living example of that. We took over an apartment complex, and I actually seen black people in housing, free food, clothing, and shelter because that's what we would take, and we would bring food back to the community. We would bring clothing back to community. We housed people. We took over an apartment complex, and we had it for years. We've had that. We had a community, off-grid community in here in East Atlanta for years, in Decatur actually. Um, where we had people, clothed, housed, sheltered for free food, free clothing for years. We had that, and the reason why they took us out, they tried to get us out. They illegally evicted people. because the situation with it really couldn't get us out, but they illegally evicted people, and also because there was a lot of women in our community and people there was a couple people that tried to approach me about very like prostitution basically, and I wasn't prostituting out the women in our community. That actually was one of the catalysts in the person trying to,
Sex
you
is
know,
currency.
yeah, trying to
Sex is
bring
currency. Yeah.
the police
Yeah.
and the
Sex is
mortgage and
currency.
these different real estate companies and all that stuff like that. But so I actually lived a working model where I've seen black people free. I've seen black people free. I've been in that environment. So, I've seen it. I've seen it and so this so it's nothing that we can't do, because I've seen it done. I lived it, and
That's
I'm still living it. But um that's my thing with that too. That we gotta press hard, and buying everything that we have is it it's not the way. It's not the way. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these
yeah.
things we're gonna have to put pressure on, and some of these things we're gonna have to outright just take.
Yeah, we just have to do. We
You
just
know.
have to do.
Mm.
That's
Well,
that's
I
absolutely true.
And we
That's
can't
absolutely
be we
true.
can't be sitting there like all scared about it. We got that's what we had to do. That was what there's no,
uh
and ultimately you gonna buy stuff. When you buy stuff, they keep on putting the price up. Oh, you want to buy this? Oh, this price
It's
now.
now the
It's
value
that
is
price
going
now.
up. The
It's
value
that
is
price
going up.
now.
The
And
value is going
they
up.
do not
w-
even these people when you're talking about upper echelon, they don't even use money
They
at
don't.
all. They don't
They
use
don't.
money. If you're going to
And
lose
they can write
something,
off $1 million properties for nothing.
yeah, they don't
well,
even
I
Absolutely.
would,
use money. You know.
And oh, go ahead, brother.
I appreciate you all sharing that, and I just want to uplift Booker T. Washington and Marcus Garvey as they provided great solutions. Um, and I think that having a successful model is a key factor in communicating your ideas to the people, communicating a sustainable prototype so that people will be it'll be easily understood, because where it may have worked for you personally, for a person that may not be familiar with your personal situation or may not be fully aware of your personal situation, they can go to a successful model and be able to see, okay, this is how I could fit in. And I also want to highlight that the federal government, um, a lot of the money, right, that was generated from slavery is frozen in federal government. And in addition to our grassroots efforts, that um, locally and globally, we would be able to have real power by leveraging our grassroots efforts to federal power. There's HR 40 that is currently on the books. We have a lot of black politicians that are in places. We have enough to be able to do both parallel play offense and defense. And in addition to creating a local movement around housing, we can also create a global movement around housing for Africans in the global diaspora, because this is the decade of the African diaspora on the UN. That I think that housing is a human right, especially for a rich nation like America. And in order to resolve poverty, in order to resolve violence, that making showing in particular to the federal government, which there's we need power, and being behind enemy, if you will, but being behind enemy lines. One aspect of a great general in the art of war is making enemies friends. And if poverty and violence, we know that is no good for the nation. I think that if then now this is a page that I take from Booker T. Washington, right? He was able to, he taught the students, like our brother Bakari was saying, is that we have to be able to empower our hands. And I'm not sure that saying don't do that for them,
Yep.
I'm not sure that that's the exact narrative that will be successful and sustainable. That may be something that worked for a few individuals. However, when we look at successful models like Booker T. Washington, like I love the red, black, and green flag. Like when we talk about building government, that the red, black, and green flag represented a black government where we operated ourselves and where our own government can provide housing. That I think that perhaps
Yes.
even working through a UNIA, saying, okay, let's organize the UNIA and see how through, because we know government is one that provides housing. And so by organizing government, we'll be able to accumulate funds and buy properties where we can provide housing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yep, that's definitely still a part of the plan. But what I think that we're stressing in the meantime is if oh, let me also qualify, not qualify, recognize brother sir senior. Thank you again for sharing with us that you eyes married now. That is so awesome, and definitely applauding and wishing you the best, you and the missus, the best for the year to come. What an awesome, awesome way to start off the new year in a new union. So wanted to get those congratulations out of the way before I move forward, because we are closing down on our about last half hour of this address. So I definitely stand in agreement. I want to just again tell people that when you're going into this mode or this mentality, if you are in a situation where you're currently renting, there has got to be you have got to create an end game or an exit strategy with this. To just think that you're just going to continue to pay your rent month after month after month after month, and then what? Your the property owner is going to now say, if you paid enough rent, you don't have to pay for the next couple of months. It just doesn't happen. And I always think it's laughable to me when people say, they if their property manager let them pay a late without having a late fee, or let them double up another month, and they're glad to get it. It's a sad thing, but again, like what you said, Julian, this goes back to them having to see a situation that is successful for them to be able to uh, kind of understand and appreciate, and for lack of a better term, buy into it. So our next renters rights forum is actually the last Saturday of this month in January. Please make sure again you register for these for this particular forum. We are going to be having a special we're going to be meeting at a special location that has a limit on the amount of people that we can have in the facility or in the room, in the conference room. So please make sure you register. But at these events, this is not just about us gathering and complaining. Don't come to any events over here if you're looking for excuses, because you're not going to get them. We're not looking for people. I'm not looking for people to. And actually, what was very interesting and odd, that after a lot of these renters' rights forums, people call me and they want to know, do I have any place they can rent? Y'all, what y'all trying to do? What y'all trying to do? I'm not. That's like saying, that's all of the freaking, you calling up asking for help, but you're asking them, you're asking the people that you're calling up and asking for help. Hey, do you have a place where I can get more of the issue. I can get more of some of this that's making me have this issue. It literally makes no sense. I am not in the business of finding people places to rent. I'm in the business of helping you free yourself from rent, from paying rent, not helping you find rent, not helping you find another place to pay it to. Okay, so I personally am wanting to assist with getting information for you so that you can create either collab with other people that are also seeking opportunities that they can go into with combining your money so that you're not paying rent, but you are into a collab effort to purchase property, or you are in a situation where you are able to live in a person's home that does own their home, and you're able to invest into their home with them. But I'm not in the business of lining up people with opportunities for other places to pay rent. Um,
Can I say this?
Rob just said something. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'll say this is that also
Correct.
too with working models, we also had to be the working model in ourselves because you know, and I love what the brother, you know, what the brothers were doing back in the days in our movements. Um, and I love everything. Marcus Garvey, of course, I had the red, black, and green flag in the studio. Um, but we had to strive to be the working model. We had to strive to be that working model because these movements they're not they cut them off and they destroyed these movements. So let's take what these movements have done, and add on, and then add on to that because we have to be the working model. They're not going to show you what Fidel Castro did. They're not going to
Mhm.
show you what these revolutionaries that were successful really were doing.
Right.
They don't talk about how people were flying in Haiti. You know what I'm saying? They don't talk about they go into it. Oh yeah, they had a voodoo ritual and da 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 next. But they're not going to show you exactly the model that they use. Now you could take things from here and take things from there and piece them together and sort of see what they did, but they're not going to tell you exactly what happened. They're not going to tell you exactly what happened. There's a reason why they're one of the most harshest penalties for in having slaves was to have them read, have a literate slave. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that, and still, even with all the literacy and all the information that's out right now, they're not going to tell you how to liberate yourself. They're not. We have to be the working models. We have to go out there and
Real
not be
time revolution.
we can't be scared to fail. We learn. There's no such thing as failure. We learn and we keep on learning until we are the full embodiment of what we want to see.
Right.
Until we are the full embodiment of what we want to see. Yes, things have did work out for me personally and able to facilitate that community, but that was a model that I had to see so that I can embody it and then liberate others.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
not something that, just because it worked out. Yeah, it worked out for me because one person will ultimately be making the change. You know what I'm saying? We have these groups and we have all these things, but ultimately it's that one person that's going to open up the gateway and have people come through. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for that one person to experience it. So if it yeah, we both have our personal stories of how we're not paying rent or not doing this and still making it. Yes, we do have our personal stories, but it's important for people to have those personal stories so that we can take and create a community
Yeah.
around that. You know what I'm saying? And to see that happen, and to see that happen for years, and
Yes.
see how people, and see how whole communities free for years, black people free. You know what I'm saying? Black people have never been free before. You know what I'm saying? Black people have been
And so
always
that
paying
is
rent.
scary to them.
You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? They've been always paying rent.
That's
Even,
scary to
you
them.
know, your mother used your name to pay for cable and all this stuff. So you have never been free.
Never.
That you have never had a situation where you not paying rent or mortgage. That you know what I'm saying? You had to buy your clothes, you had to buy your food, you had to do all this stuff like that. You had never been free before. The empires of Kush, that was freedom.
That was
You know
freedom.
what I'm saying? For thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
Come
You
on.
know what I'm saying? America has only been around for, for what, 200 years or so, 200 plus years. And every single day has been um, in war and warfare. You know, we had empires of Kush thousands and thousands of years and no peace. You think they're going to give us that model?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? They took all those books from Timbuktu, the University of Timbuktu, for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They burned all those books for a reason. They got all those books hidden in the Catholic Church in Italy for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to show us a working model. We have to be the working model. We have to be the working model. So that's what I want to say. I appreciate the brother, but I just want to add on to that. We have to be the working model as opposed to thinking that we go back in the past and look in a book and it's gonna automatically give us the answers. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? We have to be the book. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm a story that is still being written and is still writing. You know,
Correct.
so we have to be the book. Because we're gonna look back into a model of stuff and you know that's great, but I mean, where are the people in the UNIA right now? I've been in touch with the UNIA. I know the people that are part of the UNIA in Atlanta, and I actually been part of their meetings. These people still paying rent.
That part. I can't say it enough.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
telling y'all, people leave these marches. Okay. I'm just gonna tell y'all this, and like I said, I'm not dismissing nobody. I'm not dismissing nobody in your efforts. But y'all, they leave these Rashad Brooks marches. They leave the Ahmaud Arbery guilty marches. They leave the uh what was the brother that was recently murdered? The, so many. Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to say Dante. I want to say Dante. But they leave these marches and they riding and they rallying and they elbow to elbow and they got the peaks and everybody is out and everybody is one. But them peaks go home to their mansions and we go back to these apartments and these lackluster spaces that we in that we scrambling to pay rent on. And you think that that's for and you think we think we've accomplished something because we were out in those streets in unity.
Mm-hmm.
But when we go home, we're going home to a situation that we paying rent someplace. We paying rent someplace on. And if that, like I said, it's a good chance if you are African American, you one in that 70% that's doing just that. Yes. And the one after him, yes, George Floyd, all of them. That we going home, we leaving these rallies, we leaving these marches. This is a really good conversation going on here. I'm just share a couple of these comments, you all. Thank you, Wisdom and Rob for keeping this energy going and heightened. Oh, Wisdom, I want to say this. I was subscribed. I think I told you before. I was subscribed to the Satan Center. I think his name is Marquise. Is his name Marquise or something like that? I was subscribed to him for a little bit, but then I noticed that the Satan Center always has some pink person of influence. Looking like she didn't have on drawers always in the background, and it just didn't real sit right with me. What I mean, I'm just like if that's what your motivation is, it's like we just I can appreciate that the brother may be a smart brother. I can. Even my ex-husband is a lawyer and he's married to someone of an unblack. So that doesn't take away any of his genius. Yes, he's still a smart person, but his influence is not of my same influence. And so, with that being said, I want to be more strategically aligned with people that the mentality and the aspirations and inspirations are the same. Um, because he just seemed to always have some very interesting women in the background looking like they didn't have on no draws. And um you know do with that what you will, but I think that his angle of what he's trying to accomplish and my angle of what I'm trying to accomplish are maybe two different things. Ultimately, maybe not initially, but ultimately. Rob Albeck says we got to re-educate and educate seriously. Absolutely, and that's what the general is on as well. Yes, yes. Um, yep, we have to have some type of education. Agreed. Education is uh, they out there faking. Rob, that's what I'm talking about. Man, it must be something about y'all Robs. It must be something about y'all Robs. These Robs be having it. They got they got some genius in your own right. I have an uncle named Robert, so I'm partial also. But absolutely. And the thing of it is that you don't even realize that what you're faking. You don't even realize what a detriment that is to the psychology of the people that even you're out there leading. That you out there talking about revolution and freedom, but like you said, you ain't never experienced no freedom. And that begs me to the last subject because we got about 10 minutes left here. But I really, because like I said, I'm on this. This is whatever they said, until you have found something that you're willing to die for, you're not fit to live. And I'm telling you, this housing, canceling rent during this generation, I'm living and dying on that. I'm living and dying on that because that just never made sense to me. It's never made sense to me, and even more so now that I'm an adult. Does it make even less sense? Because I remember being a child, of course, being in my youth when we would go visit other places. Always, my family, we always took family trips, and so we would go to, Detroit, and we didn't go to Chicago. We didn't go to Detroit, but we went like Detroit, New York, Canada. We were always going places every summer, right? And I would say to my mom, I would be like, why don't we just move? Why don't we just move here? Why don't we just move to these places, these spaces? And my mom would say, it's expensive. Like, just, you don't understand, Courtney, it's expensive to live in other places. It's expensive to move. That's what she would say. And I would be like, why? Why don't we just go and, we just, the money that we spend on visiting, we just go and we just, move and we get into another place. And then she's like, well, what are we going to do now, once we move? Because you got to have jobs and you got to have this and have that. And I remember just being like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. And I was just like, why? Why do we have to have jobs? Why we gotta do this? That never sat right with me. And it even sits less right with me as an adult. I didn't understand, why can't we just live? Why can't we just live? Why can't we just do this just like what we're doing right now? Why can't we just live? Why do we have to get these jobs? Why do we have to get this and that? And to know that literally black people pay, y'all, black people pay up to 70% of their income on where they live. Imagine what type of living you could do if you weren't literally working to just have a space covering your head. Mm-hmm. That type of freedom is something that a lot of us, like you said, will never know. But we deserve to know it because we built the damn places for this to be true in for someone else. We in a lot of land in the United States, the first structures that ever graced these grounds were built by us. The very crops to support and to enrich these areas were planted by us.
Mm-hmm.
The foods that were yielded from a lot of these crops were cooked by us.
Mm-hmm.
If there is any demographic that should not have to be paying to live, it's us. But like you said, this is a full time. This is not no. You ain't gonna 9 to 5 your way to no revolution. You're not gonna 9 to 5 your way to no revolution, and that's my word. This is 2022, the year of breakthrough, and your mindset has got to be broken through. It's called a breakthrough, not a walkthrough, not an easy through. It's called a breakthrough. Great breakthrough. Does your comment on your rent? If so, would you mind sharing? Okay, so Sir Anthony wants to know, Queen Courtney, does your ex-husband have any comment on your rent abolishment campaign? If so, would you mind sharing? No, he does not. He doesn't. We don't talk outside of my children. We have no discussion. What only the last discussion that we have had was him basically saying uh not even a thank you for taking him for saying taking him off of child support, but him just oh, actually that wasn't the last comment. The last statement that the last conversation we have had was he sent condolences. My grandmother, as you all know, was the mayor of Daytona Beach, and she has uh my grandmother transitioned years ago, but she had a political friend in a political dynamite named Carrie Meeks, and Carrie Meeks, condolences to the Meeks family. Carrie Meeks was a state representative in my out of Miami, and she passed away uh earlier last she passed away early December, and my ex-husband sent condolences to to my family, um because he remembered that Carrie Meeks was a friend of his. So that was the last comment we had, but we don't have any conversation usually outside of the children. Or that the last conversation about him making sure that one that was notarized, we're taking him off child support. So that's the only conversation that we've had about anything.
And I'll say this too. Do you think they were paying rent in Kush? Do you think they were
Come
paying
on.
rent in Kemet? These places when they went to the empires of Kush, they said that you could leave a whole $100,000, a bunch of gold out, nobody would even touch it. You
Come
know
on.
what I'm saying? Think about in our own black community. I mean, if you cannot even imagine this, then that's how far away you are from, you know, seeing a working model of anything. Because if you can't imagine somewhere where someone can drop $100,000, a briefcase full of money, and people will be like, "Oh, who dropped this?" and
Thank
look for the
you.
person that
Thank
and look for the
you.
person that it owns it. You know what I'm saying? Because people are truly living in abundance. People are truly living free. And
That's
if
what
it's
that is.
hard to grasp,
That's what that is.
even conceptualize that, then you are still far away from even being in that mind state. You know what I'm saying?
That's what that is. Because that's what definition people say. Why in poverty is there so much violence? Hell, lack of resources.
Hmm.
In the
Hmm.
spaces and places where we're living in abundance, that's not the case.
Exactly. Exactly. People will not be stealing. The whole thing with you know, the whole thing where we're taking black culture from movies and from rap music. And
Hmm.
true black culture is black supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Our ability to be supreme and become supreme beings. That is our true culture. Not not this stuff on TV or radio. So we had to disconnect from that too. You're disconnecting from the rent. You before you disconnect from the rent, you gotta disconnect from the distractions. You gotta disconnect from this radio. You got to disconnect from these TVs. You got to disconnect from the distractions because that's still going to get you, you're going to still end up being a slave. You know what I'm saying? So, um, you have to, and it has to be real for you. It can't be a fad thing. It has to be real for you. So, to be able to give freedom to people, you have to embody freedom. You have to live it yourself. It has to personally work out for you first
Yeah,
until you could
it's
be
true.
able to take it to the people.
People to
You
show.
know.
Yeah, you have to have something to show to people. Even though Scripture teaches us that faith comes by hearing, we have become very much a people that seeing is believing. And let me clarify some things also, Sir Anthony, because I know you are a property owner and you have some properties for rent, and so this always ruffles your feathers a little bit. But if you want to, on the slide, give towards this campaign, because ultimately, like I said, there's not enough of you for this not to make sense for the majority of this demographic. Um, when you say, what are the legal insights in regards to this? We're not legal laws are man-made. It was legal to rape black
Black women
women. Yes,
legal
it was legal to kill black children during slavery.
out there
So
in
don't
reality.
don't get with me about some legal insights in regards to this rent. This rent is a direct um agenda to keep black people impoverished,
Hmm.
to keep black people indebted. This so when this is legal, and so because it's law, but it doesn't make it moral. So when we say legal insights, I have some legal insights as well, um in regards to it. So we want to be set up, and again, there are plenty of organizations and initiatives and programs that will pay your rent. I just think that we need to be more. We need to be putting more of our effort into finding those organizations, than we are into trying to get 2 and 3 and 4 jobs to pay 1 month rent. And when we say, "Oh, well, that's not really, realistic," yes, I've seen it. I knew a woman who literally worked a single mother, 3 jobs, and she was a teacher. She worked at the Gap, and she drove Uber to be able to pay rent and to qualify for a home ownership program. But she had to pay the rent first to be able to do that. She had to pay it for a certain amount of months to be able to qualify for this program. And these type of hoops that we have to jump through, I promise y'all, no other demographic has to do them. I've seen it. I've
Hmm.
seen it. I'm not just telling you something that I think or something that I've read or something. I'm telling you that I know I've experienced it. I have been an intake clerk. I have been an elected official. I have been an organizer of parents in a school system that saw, the black parents who looked like one totally different demographic than the white parents of the same organization. And I've sat on many boards and community advisory committees and nonprofits, for profits, and we primarily, predominantly have this issue of housing in our communities. No other community has this, and no other community does threaten with eviction and homelessness the way we are, the way it is used against us. Coach Malik, I think you had the link. I know we're closing out, but you should have joined up. But I know that sometimes your area is spotty. But y'all, this is going to be a great one to play back. I'm seeing these come in. Thank you so much, Sir Anthony said. Nice, Eric. I'm not coming with any backdoor shade, Queen Courtney. I'm listening. Okay, Sir Anthony. I hope so because yes, like I said, I know sometimes we may, and that is okay because even the greats not all the time agreed. So, and like Brother Palmetto said, and I say, we're still learning, we're still growing. So I get it, but I just want to make sure that you can appreciate that this is what's being said here is not is not tongue in cheek. This is real time revolution right now, and we're not going to get ahead in this society or any society by being complicit with a system that is created to destroy us
Mm-hmm.
psychologically, financially, physically. Because physically, what is those jobs doing? They work you to death. They'll work you to death. You got to take the shot to come on in. Then when you take the shot, you 3 times as likely to get the virus. You know, and then you got to throw your kids in school because you got to be at work, and so you got to have them susceptible to it, so you can keep these jobs, so you can do what? Pay this rent, so you can do what? Stay with a roof over your head. Okay, so you aren't exposed to all of these other factors. And like I said, no other demographic has to worry about this at the amount that we have, to the magnitude that we have. No other demographic has to worry about this. It's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to stand up and to stop this madness and stop being complicit in a system that is meant to destroy us. Be aware. Be aware. All right. This job is a mess. You ain't live. All right. So this is a great one. I know we could go on. So listen, so I want to do something special that I haven't done in a long time, you all. Um, because it is the year, it is 2022, the year of breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do this. If you email me, okay, if you email me, I haven't given away something in a long time. And thank you so much for telling me about my earrings, Queen. Sir Anthony said, Queen Courtney, I like your earrings. I appreciate that. I haven't done this in a long time, but it is the 2022 year breakthrough. So today, I am going to, we're going to do a nice Cash App giveaway. All right. So, email me, uh, okay, email me proof that you have not subscribed. What is You've purchased a membership. That's it. You purchased a membership to my website, which is coloredonlycafe.com. Y'all know that is coloredonlycafe.com. Email me proof that you've done that, and I will be given, yay, I will be given a cash app for you. Yes, absolutely. A cash app for you of the $22 for a 2022 year breakthrough. Make sure you email me. Um, I'm only going to be able to do that to the first one. And we're going to be given for the month of January only. This is huge. You can join MX Media Group for free. For free. So there is no registration fee for this month only. So if you're interested in either one of those, joining MX Media Group, or if you are interested in, of course, getting that free cash app, make sure you send me proof that you have become a member. Please let me know. Please let me know. So that is going to be the MX Media Group opportunity to join. That is for the rest of this month. That's January. The Colored Only Cafe Cash App give out is only for a very limited time. Like I said, first person that emails me proof that you become a member of the website. Of course, and as a member of the website, you have access to a lot of these great conversations that I have on YouTube, plus more. And you also will have access to exclusive programming that will be starting very soon with my program, my series that I'm writing, which some of you already know about. and of course, menu and recipes for the Colored Only Cafe event. So, and I did a lot literally these last 2 weeks, y'all. So, so we have a lot of yummy recipes that we'll be posting shortly. So make sure it's just like an ongoing cookbook with being a member of the website. So, so join the Colored Only Cafe community, and that is the address there. And we bid you to have a great rest of the day. It is officially afternoon. The sun has hidden behind the rain a little bit, but that's all right. That's all right. We are still going to enjoy the day as this first day of the new year. I thank you all for again being a part of this great conversation. I am going to leave this conversation up for a bit, just so we can continue to grab some um, some exchange. And but you all know that after probably about a day or so, this conversation is only going to be available at on the website because you all I'm moving my content to my personal website, so that we can continue to make sure that we stay in control of our content. YouTube sometimes they take comments down, they erase certain quotes that were part of the conversations. Sometimes I look back at the stream and I don't even know what people were talking about because they've taken comments out. So it's important that we again realize the significance of having control of our own content. But with that being said, I really appreciate you all for coming in. I want to thank again MX Media members that came in today for the chat, including Brother Bakari. You guys make sure you check out the B1 list at gmail.com. You want to check out Julian, General Julian. If anybody wants to visit his website, let me put this up in the chat. Um, oh, wow. Okay. So he has shared his information. I'm going to put this up here and want to make sure that everyone gets in touch with General Julian Smith, and he has a great organization. And he also just celebrated a birthday, y'all. Y'all know we live streamed last week. That was his birthday party. It was the first day of Kwanzaa, the 26th. That's right. He turned 36 on the 26th. Okay. And uh, I'm going to pin that up in the room. So, again, everyone, want to make sure that you continue to be in touch with um, with each other. We cannot do this alone. These are no one man armies here. This is possible because we unite. Because we unite, and even if it is two or three, two or three. All right, that's only thing you're doing with one is this. All right, we're putting them together here. This is the year. This is the year. Okay. So that is Julian's information. You all make sure. Uh, I'm sorry, I cut off his C, but that's supposed to be continue. And I'm putting that up in the. I'm pinning that in the room. Okay. All right. All right, brother Palmetto, anything you would like to say, and where can they find you?
Well, yes, they can find me on Instagram two, the number two, RAW, the number four, TV takeover. Add me. They're gonna ask you, do you really want to follow this guy because they are censoring me. So, but yeah, go ahead, and press that button and get follow me there. I do two Raw for TV every Thursday. As you guys see, it's blogtalkradio.com/two Raw for TV. The call in number is 516 453 9174. Continue to support. I appreciate everybody that's coming out, building up this Black supremacy utopia that we're having out in Atlanta. And also, let me just put this out here. 3 Steps to End Racism right now. It's my first book. It's the most important book of the new age, of this age of Black supremacy that we are now in. So it's the most important literary work right now. You can hit me up in the inbox or email me 3steps to end racism at gmail.com to get a hard copy of 3 Steps to End Racism right now. And when you do that, the first couple people that do that right now will also get a limited edition signed signed cover of 3 Steps to End Racism right now. So just hit me up on Instagram to Rover TV Takeover. Our Twitter, Palmetto_star. I'm everywhere. Just hashtag to Rover TV and you will find me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you all, I also put up here the petition link to sign the petition to get Clean Malcolm X Day recognized as an international day of reflection, of remembrance, and of what is that one? Reverence.
Reverence, resistance, reflection.
But we want to make sure that this is understood, that this is the move, you all. This is the move, that this is the link that we're all going to, that we're all pushing our efforts to make sure that it's absolutely recognized that Claim Malcolm X Day is May 19th. That's his birthday. It's not, it's a day when it's convenient. It's not just, any month in May. Is not we're not going to tolerate that for Brother Malcolm. We are going to definitely push for his birthday to be recognized as an international day of reflection. Absolutely. No, thank you, Wisdom. Thank you. And we also want to, like I said, make sure that you, as well as Rob, as well as anyone else that is interested, join up with us. This is the month that we are offering the MX Media Group membership, and with this membership, you will have access to other content creators. We network and we build effectively on elevating the conversation by any means necessary. We're real time doing this. Like I said, people are not a part of this group that just are just talking about it, and that's it. You have a blessed one as well, cooking with Cersei and you and the Mrs. and cooking that awesome breakfast or brunch for you too. With seeing here. All right, that's right. B1, everyone. Yes, you all. Please make sure you go and subscribe to Harry Triple O. Make sure you check out Rob's channel as well. Rob, all things your channel, but also Rob, Team Rob Country. Um, and let's see here. Anybody else? Thank you so much, Sir Anthony, for coming in. Koja Malik, always a pleasure, sis. Naima was here earlier. Thank you so much again. Um, I wisdom. I'm telling you, Marquette is into something different. Like I said, I used to be subscribed to his channel, and I it was just too much. It was too much booty cheeks and other stuff going on in the background for me to continue to pay attention. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe his material has changed, his content. I haven't checked it in a minute, but like I said, I think it would be better maybe if you told him to reach out to me and then we could start a conversation from there because I used to be subscribed to his channel, and it was a whole lot of pink cheeks and camel toe prints going on in the background for me to continue to pay attention. I was just like, okay, he really into these Caucasian ladies. It was interesting. But with that being said, y'all just want to keep those X's up and glow up by any means necessary. This is it, y'all. 2022, the year breakthrough.